so I pushed that button, which means now it's time to go over here. And then over here too. All right. I believe we're live now. Yep, there it is. Oop. Oh, something's wrong with the OBS scene. How'd that happen? This is relatively straightforward to fix. There.
Something's wrong with the what?
The OBS scene didn't have the PlayStation emulator, like...
Properly embiggened?
Yeah, but I think I fixed it, so...
Yeah, okay. Looks like it's fixed.
Yes. Hello everybody, I'm here. It's time for Xenogears. MaskedHuzzah's here.
Hi there!
I did something I've been threatening to do for a long time, which is I went and actually ground out a couple of death blows for Faye and Satan, so...
Operation Bunches of Punches.
Yes, exactly. I also, from looking at the, like, walkthrough death blow table, I relearned a fact, which is that death blows, in addition to having to practice them and have the correct number of, like, time points available, each also has a minimum level requirement. So, for example, if we go in here, you can see that Faye is level 34, Satan's level 30. I think the next, they each have, so if you go over here, like,
Sorry.
Satan has learned has 100% progress on the Ogi death blow, but has not learned it yet because he's not high enough level. So, but anyway, now each of these guys has 2 6-time point death blows, so if we get into an actual fight, that'll be helpful.
I mean, what level are you expected to end the game at?
Probably... Well, I know that there are, like, some later death blow, like the late game death blows have level requirements around 80.
Okay.
So, I think it's kind of like Super Nintendo Final Fantasy level scales where you can get up close to 100, but level 99 is probably maximum, but I don't actually know if there is a cap like that. In any case, however, evidence suggests that we're going to be spending some time fighting in our gear here, because that's how we're doing this. Sure. Oop, we just zoop. Oh, now we have one gear and Satan. Okay. However, this guy over here is a shop, and there might be some things I want to buy. Hello. Let's make sure that... I think we probably did this already, but... Good morning, crab meats in your crazy paw. Yes. Okay, that's fine and good. Yep, I think we actually did this last time. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Can we buy... okay.
Memory serves me, we also got some sort of healing thing
Yes.
for our gears.
Now that we are in phase gear, let's check what's equipped. Yes, okay, so we're going to change out some of these magnetic coats. The frame HP 30, which restores 30% of your hit points, so that's useful to have. And then... well, I think we're actually going to go with this. I don't want to lose 100% of our bonus to response just for a plus 10 defense. So I think the frame HP 30 plus a beam code will probably be enough.
It'll be fine.
Now,
I mean, nothing's going to really help us against, say, nuclear weapons anyway, so who cares?
right, yeah, if we fail to stop that, then no amount of equipment
And
will
it's
save
not
us.
like there's going to be any other danger.
Right. So I guess Rico, like, left town? Is that true? Either that or this might be a flashback. But no, he still has his, like, prison collar on. Which, since he was the fighting champion, I think he, like, could have taken his collar, had his collar removed, but chose to keep it on as a symbol of something.
Might still be disabled, though.
Right. I assume it will not.
Oh yeah, he was being executed. That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
I had forgotten. It's been...
Crabmeat's informed us that this is the technical execution. Now, yes, everyone in the chat believes that Rico could definitely just beat up a Rancor without a gear. Well, we actually fought one of these
How
very...
fast is it?
Yeah, we fought one of these things very early in the game. But, oh, this is Rancor R. Okay, well.
The R is for more Rancor.
Plan A is going to be punched a lot. Oh no, we missed. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I love that just the one frame, and now I'm on my back.
Okay, we did it.
We didn't even have to punch it that many times.
Yep, well, it's not much improved from the last time we fought it.
Well, yeah, it didn't have its option.
Yeah, right. I didn't mean to save you. Okay.
Listen, I wasn't planning on saving you, but it was on the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Seems like if this style of execution fails, they might also try just shooting him with a gun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did we actually know about, like, the bombing in character?
Maybe not. I was trying to remember that this morning and I couldn't remember. I don't think we've actually heard about it. Vibration in the atmosphere.
That doesn't sound good. Maybe I should get back into my mech.
Yeah. Seems like a great time to not just be standing around, not in the mech. Okay. So, I'm not clear if this sound effect is supposed to be like machine gun fire or
Sounds
or
like helicopter to me.
aircraft, yeah. Okay.
Looks like they're knocking out the power, but not doing too much else.
Yeah, we haven't had the archetypical anime sphere explosion, so I choose to believe that until that happens, the nukes are not going off.
In Front Mission 3, there was a plot point that one of the characters had developed a new type of bomb that did in fact just create perfect sphere explosions that just kind of disintegrated everything in that sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't leave any radiation or anything, just disintegrated like one sphere.
Uh-huh. Oh no.
Okay, now we know about them blowing up the Capitol.
Yeah, Satan
now that
just
they
like
started.
used his like future imperial science intuition to just know that they're going after the reactor.
Man, all the civilians in town better leave.
Yeah.
All of them, very quickly.
And Rio is also here. Ah, okay. Meanwhile... Why does Faye keep showing up? This is a totally reasonable question.
Frankly, it's kind of a summary of a lot of the game's plot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure, Hank, whatever you mean by that. With the Yellow forces, we won't be beaten except for all those times when we definitely were beaten.
Whatever, drop a bomb on that guy, we don't care.
Mm-hmm. So, it's these guys again. I'm just going to punch them. Okay. With
We
weakened
seem
armor.
to be slower than everyone.
Oh. Maybe? I don't know.
Just because they're all, so far, both opponents have gotten like 2 turns to our 1.
So yeah, there's not a lot of strategy here, just as there has ever been. It's just, if we get hurt enough, I can use the frame repair thing. Maybe I should find where that is in the menu. So I might need to use...
I think the frame repair is more of a regen that costs a bunch of fuel.
Special options. There we go. So it's this. But we don't need to use it yet, so... Nope. Okay. You get $1,000. Okay. Yes, crab meat says use a bunch of fuel. Okay. Mm-hmm.
On top of it like a ship right now, right?
Yeah.
Why does it Faye just throw them off to the left or the right?
Honor or something. Alright, that's kind of a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and use the thing. Okay. That's pretty strong.
Okay, that it just cost 340 fuel. Okay.
Yeah.
That's...
It's slightly more efficient to use my triangle. Oh, he died. Okay. I was gonna say use the triangle square death blow every other turn rather than saving up for the square based or the level 2 death blows. Oh, we learned counterforce. It's the final chapter of Gravity's Rainbow.
Never heard those.
We read the final chapter of Gravity's Rainbow and it makes everyone leave. Because it's a rather... Anyway, we don't need...
I understand it's kind of dry.
It's pretty dense and abstract. Anyway, Satan and Hammer are talking about how everyone needs to evacuate.
But not all the people can evacuate.
Right. Rico is being a tough guy. Okay, Rico.
Town is crap, but I'm crap too.
Mm-hmm.
Claude, who attacks you by bashing him with the back of his hand, bashing you with the back of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
his shield.
This guy seems to mostly be doing less damage than the other guy, so... let's... maybe next turn... use the frame repair thing. Oh, okay, yes, that's extra incentive to do that. Since I suspect the fight after this will be harder and I would like to not spend as much time repairing myself.
Sensible.
Okay, great. I just hope I don't run out of fuel. That would be... I guess one reason why they might be making Faye slower than the other gears is because we have the option of booster. And that would be one way to make ourselves faster, although... I don't know. What? Sure. Oh right, Crab Meats points out that they're also using their combat drugs. Okay, so it's hard to tell, but there are 2 beam knights here, and the trick with these guys, as from last time, is that they get stronger if we kill one of them. Oh yeah, wand knight, not beam knight. So we're gonna take turns punching them alternately.
Is the thing on Rico's back specifically shaking?
Oh, is it? I think it's like...
It is shaking at a different rate and rhythm than the rest of him.
Oh yeah, well, that's fun. So, Rico's basic death blow is pretty good. Let's see. I've forgotten which ones I've been attacking, but that's fine. We're just gonna kind of attack them at random now. Okay. And now Rico should be able to bomber head the second one. That'll probably kill it. Thank you for attacking Rico and not Faye. I like how the camera like does not really show you what's going on, because the camera just like moves behind the enemy mech. Which sure that
Yeah,
shows.
I was just thinking that. It's like it's headbutt, punch?
Who knows? It might just be like 3 headbutts. Or 4 I don't know, anyway. Now to go shove... Oh no, it's Ellie. Rico, you go on ahead. I have to talk to my not girlfriend here. Ellie, have you considered that we're trying to not nuke the city? Yes. You're crazy, Pa, asking and answering a perfectly valid question. Yes, this is the girl mecha that also, when she attacks things, hearts pop out. So, okay. Mm-hmm.
If I could be free, I would be free, but I can't.
Faye says that Bart's missing. Bart and his crew are missing, but he hasn't actually looked, right? Like,
Satan said they were missing.
I guess that's true. And Satan's never deceived us, so... Faye, have you considered the notion of consent? Oh. I'm not sure what that sound effect was supposed to convey. What? Yeah, what are they doing? Oh.
Was that them making out in mechs?
Maybe.
Was that the noise?
That might have been the sound of mech smooches, yeah. I mean, more realistically, it probably was supposed to be the sound of them getting out of their mechs, but, like, Faye just did that with Rico and it was a different sound, so. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. No, Faye, you can't fight Domina.
She's an elite of an elite. I feel like this is just going to keep like escalating as we go in. Just to,
There's just gonna be, well, I mean, we know that
the
like
elite of the elites.
like Ramses and Miang are like the actual top of the hierarchy as far as we know, and Faye just like when he was in his robot just completely kicked Ramses's ass, which makes a lot of this conflict a little bit lower stakes than perhaps it's intended to be.
Well, yeah, but when we did that, then we also destroyed everything around us.
That's true. That's a fair criticism.
Which is what we're trying to avoid here.
Yeah, we are trying to avoid that. We aren't in the middle of a desert this time. We're in the middle of a city, so. Yes. Also, we can adjust our gear equipment. I think. Oh yeah, it also did heal our gears. Oh, also, Rico has a frame HP 50, so that's something. What's in gear option? Oh. You can just choose to do that. We are going to put...
Rico has the knowledge of a man who's gotten his ass kicked but knows how to plan ahead.
Right. Let's change out this magnetic coat for a second beam coat. I'm basically doing this because I read the walkthrough.
You've read the situation correctly, is what you've done.
Uh-huh. I think magnetic coat's gonna still be better than extra armor here. Somehow Faye and Rico are not at full health. Even though, but it's not enough for me to care. Anyway. Yeah, sure. So, if you weren't here last time, Domina is a woman who was sort of introduced just for this scenario, kind of as a as a rival to Ellie, in that she's a high-level officer in Gebler and is a woman as opposed to all the other ones. Oh. I was assuming it was going to throw us directly into the fight, but What? Okay. Ship bomb Hecht. Okay. Is her gear like anchored to the ship? Or is it another girl mech that is wearing a dress? Okay. Anyway. I wonder if it's time for booster. Well, let's just start punching.
Yeah,
So,
or those droids that Ellie also had.
yes. So if you are wearing beam coats, then most of this gear's, or most of the attacks that this boss will ever have do not do very much damage. Which, Oop. Now we have two enemies. We have, her mech, and then there's this thing.
What
which
the
is-
heck?
Yeah. I'll beat this thing up once. I don't know if it's super necessary to beat it up. Let's see, Grand Slam. This is totally different from the death blow you did before. Good morning, Kylo 11. Okay, I beat that up. I destroyed the super, so it's a super Aerod. Although, yeah. Because we have enough beam coats on, it's possible that the super Aerod can't actually hurt us very much, so I think subsequently I'll probably ignore it.
Apparently Hecht translates to either pike, the fish, man, or forward dive.
Alright. Given the shape of the craft, I'll interpret that as meaning the fish. But who knows?
Actually, that was forward dive since it's more meant to crash land.
That's also fair.
Morning, Kylo.
Oh, okay, so it's a bunch of headbutts and then an uppercut. Yeah, I think doing the slightly smaller death blows more frequently is going to be better. Okay. We don't need a ton of advice on how to play the game, Kyler. Thank you for your interest, but I don't think the game's actually hard enough to justify a lot of min-maxing. So we did take some damage from it, but it also hurt the enemy, so...
Yeah, it didn't do that. It didn't even do that much damage to us.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I feel like it might be time to just turn on the boosters and end the fight faster, because we've seen everything that this boss is doing. Yep. And then she blows up. Okay.
How?
And we get 24,000 experience, somehow. Faye levels up, Rico levels up, and we get HP drive, and we also get $20,000.
How is she escaping from this situation?
Well, you know, the animation is a simplification of what happened. Maybe she ejected.
Yeah, but I feel like the ejection isn't going to, you know, get her out of this blast radius.
Yeah. I also had the premonition that we might have the situation where we divert the giant bomb away from the reactor and into like a civilian district or something like that. Which is still fewer casualties, but it's a bit of a trolley problem. It's too heavy for a giant gear and a regular-sized gear. But, with the power of friendship, okay. Yep.
How about the palace?
Oh no, our gears are overheating.
Well, that makes sense. That's a normal thing for gears to do.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Our gear is not overheated because... Mm-hmm.
Well, also, she wasn't doing all of the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That might work better if they had any type of faces to show emotion in those like quick cuts.
Oh, like yeah, if they had a little more, either more detail on the 2D sprite or a different portrait in the. Whoop! Here comes the shining light.
Why the hell are you stopping? Keep running, you idiots!
Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the Batwing gear is. Maybe we'll learn.
Batwing or Angel Wing?
Wait. Was that Graph?
No, it's Batwing then.
I don't think it was Faye. Like, the head of the gear looked a little bit different, but... like how the implication of this composition is that when Ellie thinks of Faye, she just thinks of his robot, not the person. Because that also is... mm-hmm.
Ellie dropped 0 bombs, but hung out with a bad crowd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we get different mech noise. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of technological limitations here of the PlayStation, because we don't get voice acting, we don't get, like, different portraits, we just get what we get here. I guess Satan's here to exposit what the world looks like now that all that happened. And I'm going to sneeze.
Gesundheit.
Okay. Hammers are only hope? Okay. Oh, right, we're in the secret hideout house.
Now, why is the Empire after us?
Well, we foiled their plan to blow up Nortune.
I thought Nortune was the Empire in this case, because we didn't save the Empire previously, did we?
So, the Empire is Solaris. I guess they might all call them... Usually when I say the Empire, I mean Solaris. Nortune is the capital of Kislev, which is the city we're in right now. So we're gonna steal an airship. Who are you? Okay. Okay. I mean, the Yggdrasil probably qualifies as that too, but...
We did crash the execution. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, that's also true. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Alright, Ellie is actually in our party now. Okay. She has the pilot uniform. Let's go ahead and give her a metal jacket, I guess. And then we can just leave. let's see here. I don't think that's justified.
What is the pilot uniform even supposed to do?
Well, it's a torso-based armor thing. It's not very good though.
Oh, okay. It's just like very base armor.
Yes. I don't think it matters too much to fuss with this other stuff yet, though. Anyway, also, I think Hammer is not currently a shop. Yeah.
Want something? Me too.
However, there is a save point. Can we rest here? What? Who? I have no idea what they're talking about, but...
The old doctor.
Probably, yeah. Oh, right, Rico. Rico can't help us, allegedly.
He's currently trying to generate enough electricity to power D-Block.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Blanca.
Right. Our destination is the facility up north. Okay. What? So we don't get to know what Hammer told Ellie. Okay.
Your crazy paw brings up an important question.
Yes, I will attempt to do that if I can.
Of whether or not we can get to the shower, to clarify.
Right. Looks like there are guards standing in front of everything. Hey. Okay.
Whee!
I don't think there's any point coming up here, but it... Oh, right.
Not anymore.
This is the alternate entrance into the secret hideout. Okay.
Which they asked us not to use.
Yes. Well, I think the thing to do... Oh, right. Importantly... So this is the alleyway where earlier we gave Big Joe $5,000 and got nothing. But if you come back here now, there's an M disc. And we'll find out what that does later. Let's see.
Actually, we could find out, like, if we went into, I think, like, the tavern that was right next to it.
Oh, okay.
We might have been able to do it.
Just a second.
I like how guards 1 and 2 are like, let's not get involved.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This might not be a bar, but I think it might be a shop, which is also fine. Oh look. The better rod for Ellie. Let's go ahead and buy... I think we actually have a metal jacket in inventory. Yeah, we do. I'm gonna buy another one in the event that we get Rico in our party. Sure. Oh, the brain guard. I don't know that we must spend a lot of money on this stuff, but I'll buy one of each of these things. Yeah, okay. No, my objective was the bar, so we can see if we can...
Yeah, I think like the one we could use was like literally right next to that alley.
Right, I'm trying to find the doorway. This one. Hello? Door?
It was also hard to open last time, too.
There. Okay. We have a jukebox. Oop. Alright.
A theme. A battle.
Let's find out what a theme is. Okay. What is the world? Alright. Let's find out what emotion is. It's track 00. Well, anyway.
Remember back in the old days when it was basically impossible to buy like game OSTs? YouTube hadn't been invented yet, and there wasn't really any internet rips yet of it either.
Yep. It was a pretty dark time because a lot of these games have pretty good music and you just couldn't get it. Okay, let me do this hilarious routine again. I guess maybe I should have tried to equip Ellie a little bit, but let's just go for it.
Hey, two of those people didn't deserve that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why Rico's like on like Sprite has his bugged out eyes, but okay. Mm-hmm. Yep, this definitely is the Tsundere Minute chapter, given that Faye just did it 20 minutes ago. Uh-huh. Oh, Big Joe's on the map, right there. What you up to, Big Joe? Yes, we definitely need the Super Muchacho information. Okay.
Okay, so it's a max of 3 party members at one time?
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, and he tells us where to find the M disc, but we already got it. So, thanks, Big Joe. Okay, so... So it says to go to the Wildcat. Oh, the Wildcat bar is... Oh, that's the one that has the jukebox, so... just to demonstrate this. Hi.
Okay, those 2 guards came back, just not the 3rd one.
Uh-huh. Hello? I'm not sure why they had to give that person a personality, but they did. Let's go ahead and... We could even, like, throw Faye out of... Oh, cannot throw Faye out of the party.
If I was gonna throw anyone out, it would be Satan.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're actually gonna do, but...
But yeah, thinking about... like the really dark, gritty Advance Wars game that happened in a dystopian future, where they added a huge amount of personality to a character who, in the original Japanese, was just counting down.
Oh, okay.
And or reporting tanks. Like, oh, tanks have arrived on the ship. Whereas in the English translation, she gets to say shit like, "Sweet corn casserole, they've got tanks!"
That is a weird choice. I mean, sure,
and
but...
then, like, panicking increasingly as the airship descends from all the damage that's happening to it, and then starts looking for a parachute.
Okay, I don't think any of this is... I gave Rico and Ellie metal armor, so they are slightly more durable, but other than that... I wonder if there's an item shop around here. I wouldn't mind buying more Omega Souls, but... whatever.
Now, do we still have Rico on the world map?
Yep. So I'm not really sure what that whole dialogue about, like, only to the city limits was, but we can go over here.
Hey, there's now a big battle scar on the city.
Oh, is there?
So you look in the bottom right and the...
Oh yeah, there's like these blackened spots where the bombs went off, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Faye has way more death blows than Rico and Ellie have. So if we wanted to, we could spend a lot of time training death blows. That sounds like something I can do off camera, though. I mean, so I'll take the fights that I get, but... Like, does she
There's
have...
no need to speak them.
Oh, right.
Ellie seems like she might be bad at, like, hand-to-hand fighting so far.
Oh, well, all that, and also this rhino's huge, so... Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let's see here.
I like the fact that it has a cleaner bird on it.
It does, yeah, it's very good. Also true, Crab Meats is right, Ellie's the black mage.
Yeah.
So...
This might be a tutorial on maybe you should use the black mage from time to time.
maybe so. Or, oh, I can show Death Blow that I learned off camera. And that didn't kill it. That did, though. Okay. Okay.
Alright, 1 second, I'll be right back.
Sure. So yeah, we're supposed to go to the north to find the, find the Kislev facility. I'll do a little bit of this, but... Let's see if... oh, Ellie knows fire too.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're
Okay.
back.
I had to deal with a couple of cords that were getting messed up.
Let's see. What do you think this rhino's weak to? Lightning, earth.
Lightning.
Yeah, let's try lightning. Well, that did a lot more damage than punching.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, you crazy paw. Maybe ice?
Who knows? Oh, we have a new death blow for Ellie. Sure. She's a wizard. It seems Ellie's learning just every level 2 elemental attack here. So I guess we probably, let's go ahead and save and then go through this forest.
What is it with meeting Ellie, then going through forests?
That is how it goes, it seems. Although this might not be, like, a dungeon forest, this might just be a regular forest. Yes. I think we also can just get in our gears, if we wanted to. Yep. Which is probably faster. It also means that we can just step on enemies if we get into fights. I'm a little curious what's over here. Yes. Hello. This is not like a productive way of learning things, but it is hilarious. Okay. Thermo Dragon. I feel like there was some hotkey for getting out of our mechs, but I can't remember what it is. I mean, we can't do it the traditional way. Oh, L2, R2. Wait. Oh. Yeah, okay. Thanks, crab meats. I do kind of want to stay out of the gear just because we actually learn death blows this way as opposed to stepping on enemies. Anyway, yep, here's the Goliath factory. We can probably start the Goliath factory. I think there's save points in here. We may not finish it, but that's okay.
We should be fine.
Yeah. All right, we're tiny. Maybe we should be on our gears, eh? Okay. All right, so we entered from the east, which is actually relatively correct as far as like corresponding to what it looked like on the world map. And the walkthrough has a map of this area, which I will refer to if this gets too tedious. But for now, I would like to not lean on that too much. Okay, as it is, I'm just kind of... Oh, hello.
It's a maze of twisty little passages, all alike.
Hammer is here somehow.
Hammer becomes like the random traveling merchant that shows up throughout the game, like, and appears at the end dungeon. That would be great.
That is approximately true. Let's see. Wow. So Ellie's gear is tiny. Let's see if we can do better than this. Nope. What she has right now is already better than that. Well, I guess the V12 has a high. Oh, that's the money amount on the right here. Okay, so we're not doing that. Yes, we can go straight from 1,500 to 4,000 hit points. We will do that. And already has a current armor. Also, Heimdall. Oh, right. We sort of arbitrarily have Heimdall. I don't think... Oh, yeah, we need to upgrade that too. Fortunately, fighting Domina gave us a giant pile of money, so...
Also, probably the off-screen grinding.
A little bit. It occurred to me that I did not refuel Vierge here. Okay. Styre's huge. If that wasn't already clear. So this actually is a trade-off. We can go from 13 output, 1,700 fuel to 12 output and 2,000 fuel. I'm not going to bother with that. But we will get the big fat frame and... I'm not sure what Z alloy 20 over 5 means. I'm going to assume that's better than either of these things, but anyway. Oh, right. I probably should have looked to see if Ellie might have a gear rod that I need to get. $20 AR value and 5 ether. Okay. Hot rod gear. Yes, we'll get one of those. And I don't think we need any of this stuff. Yes, Crab Meat's spilling the beans on game facts about the game. Okay. And also the stuff that Ellie currently has equipped is... Oh, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, the Z alloys just have more ether defense
Okay.
in general.
Frame HP 10 is not super great, but I don't think, given that, as Hammer said, there's no enemies here, so for right now anyway, the loadout is not super important. I cannot pan the camera. This looks like a cover-based combat area. Oh no!
There are combat things behind cover.
Well, these are cute. I'm going to step on them. Okay.
Okay, this kind of answers the question I was just about to ask, which is, where are the, like, non-mech vehicles of war?
Yeah. It's a Hark bus.
I know that an arquebus is normally just a very old kind of gun.
Yep. I think this is probably intended to be the same word, it just is a slightly different rendition.
No, like, these are basically just, like, kind of artillery piece type of things, but they're just on lakes for whatever reason.
Yes. Okay, so now Ellie knows several level 2 Black Mage spells. We can check them out briefly. Yes, we have Thermo Dragon, Terra Storm. Yeah, okay. These are all like area of effect attacks for the time when we need that. Anyway. Again, I cannot pan the camera, so...
So we'll get surprised by whatever things keep happening.
Yeah.
Why were these guys just lying in wait and not, like, diving out to help whenever we were fighting the other things?
That's not how it works. Hey, we have area of effect things. Let's try this. Yes.
It's got a bigger area of effect now that you're in a mech.
Right. So we want to cast it on the middle guy. See what happens. Okay.
Maybe it doesn't have a bigger area of effect.
Yes. Neo Musha, mark 100. Okay. So Styre's
Iterate
huge.
further.
So we can't go into the place where those guys popped out of, so... However, I think that's a chest there. This is... Okay, I did it. I got the gold nugget.
Hooray!
Yep. Time for more of these guys. Mm-hmm. I guess the game is probably balanced so that the other party members should catch up to Faye in party level eventually, but that might require a lot of grinding that I'm not going to do, at least not right now anyway.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, actual random encounters now. Oh boy.
Oh, I thought this was much bigger for a moment. This might be a time for a AoE.
Yeah, I mean, those guys probably can't do a ton of damage to us, but let's just try this.
Why does it say 59%?
I don't know why it says that. Oh, maybe because... I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's a little challenging to figure out which guy we're targeting. Just kind of wiggling around. Well, let's see what happens. Anyway, let's punch this thing. So...
Oh, they're trying to surrender, eh?
The mechanics
Or
have
maybe
a
not.
weird... weird thing where... When they don't have their gear... fighting for them... They might heal you, like... But... We have no particular incentive to do that. To, like, not kill them. And we aren't injured enough to, like, hang around here. I mean, we could sit around charging, I guess. But that would be very tedious to spend a lot of time doing, so...
Yep. Per crab beats, it does a percentage damage of the base level 1 spell.
Mm-hmm. So you're trading... I mean, it's like just hitting left on the cursor in a Super Nintendo Final Fantasy game to split a spell among the whole enemy.
Okay.
Where you get slightly less damage and for area of effect. Oh boy. Okay, that's some damage. Oh. Also, the mechanic can heal that guy, but it's still at full health, and so this is not really doing anything. And the other trick is that Rico can beat him up in one shot, so... Well, he didn't. Okay. So these fights are amusing, but not terribly hard. I guess the other thing you could do... Oh, I guess you can't get out of...
Your mech in here?
Your mech, yeah. So you can get into a mech if you are not in your mech and get into a fight with a mech, but you can't get out and start practicing death blows once you've beaten all the mechs, unfortunately. Let's see. Further and further along. Oh, a fork in the road. Oh, a save point. Sure. I will avail myself of the save point.
Well, that confirms the existence of at least one save point in here.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. I'll take it. So I guess the mechanics just have a repair mech ability that they just kind of can target anybody with. I'm not sure if there's like a...
It looks like it's just they throw a wrench and there's a random chance it helps you.
Yeah.
They just kind of lob it, and occasionally it like tightens a bolt or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, here's these guys.
Maybe it's hard to get a baseline since we've just been fighting elites, quote-unquote elites, for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys seem like pushovers.
Yeah, that's basically true.
Which is amazing, given how hard it is to get these mechs at all.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe they're pushovers because they're mass-produced and cheap.
Yeah, but I didn't think the mechs could even be produced.
Well, I think they can produce mechs that are bad, and it's just the good mechs that you have to dig up out of the ground.
That makes sense.
Well, it makes some sort of anime kind of sense. It sort of posits that like reverse engineering is impossible.
Whatever, just kill more Zakus.
Yeah. Also, like, so Faye's gear is strong because it's a ancient, whatever, like plot device mech.
Yeah.
Ellie's gear is strong because she's from the Solaris Empire. I have no idea why Rico's gear is strong.
Well, his has been heavily modified and customized at this point, after being like the champ for so many years.
Okay. Well, here's a door. From looking at the map, I seem to recall that this dungeon had some... Wait, this is not where we came from. Good. This dungeon has some treasure, but none of it's, like, crucial, so if we miss some treasure, I'm not going to be too worried about it.
It's all the equivalent of like gold nuggets and whatnot.
Yeah, and like extra AR plus 3 kind of things. We're getting levels, and that's good.
Yeah, these like just seem like soft like targets to level up to.
Oh, here comes some more nerds. And in fact, they might be making it deliberately easy because you haven't had Ellie or Rico in your party very much. Hey, new guys. It's Hatamoto. Ah. Hitting for actual hits, kind of. Mm-hmm.
The evolved form of Yamato Man.
That was not the guy I was hitting, but... Oh, they're actually doing it. So, you might already know this, but Hatamoto is like... I would translate Hatamoto to mean like retainer, in the sense of... Hatamoto would be a samurai who's a medium higher rank samurai than just like some random samurai.
Just like some random bushi or whatever.
Yeah. Someone who might actually be able to advise or make requests of their daimyo.
Like, I knew that, like, I assumed that they were, like, samurai related just from context.
Right.
I didn't know of the specifics.
Yes, this is, I mean, their stats certainly reflect it, but the Hatamoto is higher ranked than the Musha. Wow, I didn't die from that. Okay. I guess if this was enough of a problem, we could use the strategy of stepping on the mechanics first so they couldn't heal the mechs, but I think that's on the table, but I don't think it's actually a valid thing to do. Dodge the wrench.
Not a necessary thing to do in any case.
Right. If it was like 6 mechanics and 1 actually strong mech, then it might get a little prohibitive to have all those mechanics repairing the mech, but you got the mica. I don't know what that is.
Kind of rock.
Well, yeah, I know what mica is. It's a sort of quartz adjacent kind of mineral, but I don't know what it does for us here. Is it?
I want to believe it's just a kind of rock here too.
Okay. Electric damage down 30%.
Okay, I guess it's non-conductive.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. There's all these boxes that make me want to like jump on them, but I don't think it actually does anything. Meanwhile, there's these things. Excuse me? There we go. An elevator. And quick! Go the opposite direction. I think the conveyor belt is going to take us to the correct place, but I am holding down dash and jumping. That's what we're doing here. And I cannot dash on the conveyor belt, so. Okay, so if we need to get back on the conveyor belt, we can do that. Let's just... a chest. Yes, this is what we're talking about here. I'm hitting the L2, R2, and like mechs can't fit in here, so that's kind of fun. There.
I wouldn't want to leave my mech in here just because they'd probably just try to steal it.
Well, yes, but we can briefly dismount just to open a treasure chest. I think that's... Oh. I was gonna say that's all that's happening here, but what we do have is a random encounter. It's kind of convenient that Ellie simultaneously is the fastest and also has the most fuel. It means that she gets more turns than everybody, and that's kind of what we want. I mean...
Turn economy remains very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back on the thing. Oh, the conveyor belt's not running here, so we have to manually, excuse me. I'm trying to decipher what we're supposed to do here. I thought we were supposed to jump on these boxes, but looks like they are just blocking. So
yeah, doesn't look like there's enough room to jump up there, but it has to be something that the elevator can give us access to, right?
Well, let's push this blinking panel. Oh, it reversed the
I think
direction
that's
of the...
reverse the thing, yeah.
Yeah. Hello, push the button, please. There we go.
This time the puzzle was more complicated and we had to push 2 buttons.
Yes. I don't think this game is quite advanced enough to have combat on conveyor belt. Although this is a... Ah, Shinobi Mark 0. You found the Shinobi bot. Try to decipher what kind of animal this is supposed to be.
Jaguar?
Maybe.
Or panther? Black, some sort of black jungle cat.
Yeah, sure. Ah, they dodged his slow, heavy punch.
Also, I like how Shinobi Bot does does know how to use claws, unlike Clawbot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're in a new area. There are elevators back up here, and there's... Oh good, another, I think we've figured out the puzzle now. I don't like these, 3 ducts. That kind of implies a lot of weird puzzle nonsense around here, but... Oh, there are several different panels. We can hit this... Oh. We can push a lot of different panels. Let's try to figure out...
What is the purpose of these conveyor belts?
Well, this is sort of a factory where they're manufacturing the Goliath.
Yeah, but they're set up so that... Like, I don't understand why they're set up to go either way.
That's fair. Maybe they, you know, it needs to be a modular factory where they aren't really sure what's going to be happening at any given time, so they might need to send parts both directions. He says. So all this healing seems obnoxious, but once we actually have our death blow cycle, then I think that'll overwhelm the healing.
They've already exceeded the healing.
Yes.
Because they can heal for 640.
Oh,
Also,
you mean...
those also camel people?
What was that?
Are the mechanics also camel people?
Well, the mechanics are in these full suits with helmets, so it's a little bit hard to tell.
Oh yeah, and they don't really like demi-humans here.
Right, like, you know, you can kind of see that they almost have like bird nose kind of helmets, but again, I think that's all just clothing and not their actual body.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we probably want to do is reverse the route of this thing. So let's try pushing this button. Yep, okay. And look around for treasure, but I don't think there's any of that. Yeah. Oh, I see. This is a 3-way conveyor belt. So if I push this... Nope, that didn't move it. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Looks like all the conveyor belts are going out in any case.
Yes, which is probably what we want. I thought I saw a ladder. Yeah, there's a ladder. I doubt that ladder is functional, though.
Yeah, because I don't think we have a way to literally get to it.
Well, we can... Come on. Try to use the elevator. Okay, random encounter time. Ah, no mechanics. That means we just beat them up. Ah, they dodge, okay.
Okay, that's more of a little mace. I kept parsing like what Ellie was holding as a fan.
Oh yeah, I think it's supposed to be a mace that can also function as, magic rod.
Yeah. But it looked like one of those comedy fans.
Yeah, it does look kind of like, a bop you on the head fan, but that's not quite what it is. So, please push the elevator button. What, does the elevator not work? That seems improbable. I'll try the other elevator, I guess. Or I can just jump up here. Let's see here. It looks like there's a gap in the thing, so it looks like I should be able to... I don't think that ladder actually go... Well... Looks like the ladder might go somewhere.
If you can get on that little thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I like can't get over there. So I think there's an invisible wall, so I'm gonna call it not possible. Unless we can...
Maybe it was planned but cut?
Very possible, or we might return back here later.
Or maybe we can access it from up here if it stops? No, I guess not.
No, I think it's an invisible wall. I guess I could use the emulator speed up here. Oop. Come on. I don't know if that's justified or not. It probably is not a great viewing experience.
But it is a shorter one.
Okay, onward and upward. Is this progress? We'll find out, I guess. I don't know. Could jump down there? I don't know if we want to, though. That kind of looks like a place where we came from already, so let's just stay on the path here. Seems familiar. Wait. Oh, there's a save point. Okay, this is in fact a different room. Grubby says definitely do not jump off. Okay. Let's see. I think we can keep going at this rate. Let's see here. This does not matter that much. Wait. That's not what I meant. Okay, anyway. So... look around here. We have several panels. I guess we want to activate that one. Or... oh, we need to reverse the one to the north. Okay.
Yeah, that seems correct.
I don't think that did it. Or maybe it did.
They reversed one of them, but maybe not the one going... oh, okay. Sorry, I misread the one going north. Okay.
Yeah,
that looks correct.
I think that probably did what we wanted. Oh, now a dodge. Actually, that should be it. Yep. Yes, okay. Wait a minute. This seems like the place we came from. However, the conveyor belt says that we don't have a choice, so...
And if it was the place we came from, then the conveyor belts would not be going the right way, probably.
Okay. I think I probably... This is, I think, the room we came from, so... Let's try this one more time. I thought that we came in from the...
North? Sorry,
Yeah.
not... You came in from...
Wait a
not the
minute.
north.
The topology here is a little bit messed up because we entered this room, like the room previous to this one, we exited out the south wall, and now we're entering from the east wall of this room. So, what the heck, geometry? You're not really cooperating here. So, yeah, we're entering from the west, but, like, the west end of that room is the north end
But
of
it
this
came in
room.
through the north.
Okay, so we need to go that way. So... Right. They're not making the dungeons super sensible to parse, but that's okay.
Sometimes it's twisty little maze of passages, all alike.
Yep. Oh, this looks different. And
Listen, we're going way over budget. Why are you having this huge, dramatic conveyor belt corridor installed? Listen, there's going to be a payoff, trust me.
Mm-hmm. Splot. Oh, there's like tire tracks on the floor. How about that? The new development. Also, there's a staircase that's entirely fenced off on all four sides. That's sensible. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, it's a robot.
With an X.
Yes.
And a shield with a couple of wiggly bits.
Yeah. It's the Fist 6.
And then it just attacked with 0 of its weapons.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna try hitting it until it dies. Okay, that actually was a weapon attack. Didn't do much damage, but... Shift up. Oh boy. The usage of 2 in those messages was rather charming.
It really was.
Okay. Well, so far it hasn't done anything too scary. Defense is a little bit higher now, but I'm not convinced it's going to matter. That's some damage.
I think that was like more than a third of your health.
Yeah. Oop. Still powering up.
Might want to put Ellie back on magic.
Maybe so. I think I might also... I will still do a death blow here, but after that I might use the frame repair thing on Faye. Okay, well, I'm glad it's missing. Are you thinking of like... Let's try a Nemo Bolt.
Yeah.
That was not super effective. That's one thing we don't have is like a scan ability. I mean, I could probably read an FAQ and find out if these things have vulnerabilities, but
There should be a way to determine it in-game without just having to guess.
right. Oh, I don't have Iron Valor here in the mech. That's okay. Oh, right. I said I was going to heal. We can try a different spell. Let's try Earth. This also is less than 100 points of damage, then I will... Yep, okay. Swap back to just punching.
Maybe magic is pointless.
Oh no, it's overheating. Locked up, can't move.
Oh, or maybe it's vulnerable to heat.
Or it spawns some mechanics. So I'm going to have... Rico continue to do this, so this is a lot of damage. But, like, Ellie can start stepping on mechanics.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't die.
Uh-oh, these are better mechanics.
Let's... Okay. Wait a minute. Excuse me? Wait. Their wrench throw does 90 damage? Oh, that was terrible. What? Oh, that was like Ellie saying that her spell wasn't very good?
I have even less of a clue of what's going on than normal.
I'm pretty sure I still should be stepping on mechanics here.
Yeah, if they're healing 500, yes.
Yeah. I think what we also can do is charge up death blows by stepping on mechanics and then use said death blows on the guy. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, that's 390 damage on everybody. Anyway, Ellie, why are you missing? That's not great for progress here. Yeah, I think we need to keep doing this. There. Okay. Mm-hmm. Faye, of course, running a little low on fuel, but we'll see if that actually is a problem. Yeah, alright. Ah, the Grand Slam, okay. Which would... well... okay, got him.
From a quick look, it looks like mechs don't have elemental weaknesses.
Oh. Okay, well that's important information.
Like nothing you fight in a mech seems to have anything like that.
Hmm.
And also, the only bosses that seem to, I think, are probably the elements.
Okay. Okay, well that was...
I don't know that they're the elements. They just look like they might be.
okay. I assume we're not going to be fighting too much other stuff after this.
Now it's time to fight an airship.
Right, I guess we're going to go this way. It would be nice to refuel and repair after that fight, but maybe the game will be paced appropriately. Yep.
They even installed a save point.
Mm-hmm. Stan says, I definitely don't know how to do this. And he just does it.
We were already planning on that.
Yeah. Oh. I didn't even realize. This might be a good stopping point.
Yeah. It's another cutscenes will play in sequence type of moment.
Definitely that. So... ah, the chapter's called Secret Weapon. Sure. Alright. Well, we busted out of Nortune, and we stopped the nuclear explosion, I guess. The game didn't even, like, dwell very much on whether a bunch of civilians died or not. I mean, maybe? Who knows?
Probably. I mean, they did just drop those 2 other bombs.
Yeah, the other bombs did, like, damage the city in some capacity. I don't know. But, well, now we have Ellie and Rico in our party, so that's cool.
Yeah.
They haven't quite figured out what their loyalties are, but they're with us for now, so that's good. But, in any case, that'll be all the Xenogears for now. But thanks for joining MaskedHuzzah.
Thank you, Burnthead, and thanks to all the viewers. We hope you had a good time.
Yep, we'll see you next time.